What could be better than the Glashütte Original CQ Panorama Date Watch? The CQ Chronograph. This watch has it all. Attractive dial, elegant case, beautifully finished in-house movement, exacting ceramic diver's bezel, that fantastic two-wheel large date, and a chronograph. What else is there for me to say? Oh, plenty more on this episode of Adventures with Time. I really liked the Glashütte Original CQ when I first saw it. Then I reviewed the CQ Panorama Date and fell in love. About a year ago, Glashütte Original brought out this CQ chronograph. They've taken everything I love about the CQ Pano Date and added a chronograph. Let's take a look. The obvious place to start is that dial. The CQ chronograph is currently available with this matte blue dial giving off some nice reflections. You'll actually see two shades of blue. The dial and bezel have a slightly lighter shade than that of the two subdials and the background of the date wheels. I like that they've matched that date window to the dial, and that the date window is now at the 6 o'clock position versus 4:30 on the Pano Date model. This gives some nice symmetry with the two subdials. Both subdials, the running seconds at the 9 o'clock position and the chrono elapsed minutes at 3 o'clock, have a pattern of concentric circles. Perhaps the only dislike I have with the CQ models, if I can actually call it a dislike, is the broad arrow minute hand. It just seems a bit large to me. However, given the amount of artifacts there are on this chronodial, I admit that it's more appropriate here than on the Pano Date model. How do you feel about this minute hand style? Of course, the chrono model has that same great bezel. Firm, definitive action with absolutely no backplay. A nice detail is the octagonal chrono pushers. They add a slight tool vibe to this watch. In fact, this model works in any wearing scenarios. It has 300 meters of water resistance, so it can be used as a diver's watch. It also fits well for a casual everyday wear watch. And with this deep blue dial, it works well for dress applications. Although for dress, you may want to use one of the bracelets or your own leather strap. Although this dark blue synthetic strap may work well. It does have this nice folding clasp rather than the usual pin and buckle mechanism. The movement in this model is the in-house caliber 37-23. It has beautiful finishing with striping on the 3/4 plate and the skeletonized rotor with the 21 karat double G. Now you won't see much of the movement except for the balance and its fine adjustment mechanism, but there are sufficient jewels, blued screws, and a few gears to make the view through the display caseback fairly attractive. It's a flyback chronograph, which means you can reset the chronograph while it's running and it will start back at 0 and continue running. Glashütte Original tests this watch to both the ISO 6425 and DIN 8306 standards for divers watches. As such, they are supposed to meet an average rate variance between -4 and +6 seconds per day. This loaner watch would certainly meet that accuracy over a day, given the readings I'm getting from my time grapher in several positions. The CQ line is definitely a beautifully designed and manufactured line of divers watches. The question one must ask yourself, at least I would ask myself, is do you want a chronograph in your watch? What would be your preference? Let us know in the comments. If you like or need a chronograph, then this CQ chronograph model is a great option. A chronograph adds several points of interest to a watch through the subdials and pushers. However, not everyone is attracted to this complication. I prefer the simpler look of the CQ Pano Date model, and I have no use for a chronograph. I'll be going over a broad selection of divers watches I've featured on this channel over the past few years in an upcoming video, so make sure you subscribe. And to help this channel bring you more content, please consider using the Super Thanks feature below. If you're into luxury watches, you should take a look at this episode next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.